Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Blanco podcast. I'm Max, and today I'm in Mexico City, and I'm joined by digital creator and vegan activist Angie de la Torre. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's Angie de la Torre.
Close enough.
Yes, close.
Close enough. And on Instagram at So In Love With Lou. That one I can't seem to get right. Our first time in Mexico. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for joining me, Angie.
Thanks for inviting me.
So let's start off with you then. Why did you go vegan?
I think since I was a kid, I was like really involved with animals. When I was like 8 years old, I think, I went to Colima with my family. My family is from Colima. And they bought a sheep, really small, like maybe 3 months old. And they wanted to eat the sheep. So I was really, really sad. I cried. And since then, I never ate like sheep, rabbit, or some animals. I just ate cows, pigs, and some fishes. And like 2 years ago, maybe, a friend of mine went vegan. And he started posting in his Instagram stories about that. And I was like, yeah, I feel that, yeah, it's the way I feel, you know? So I started doing research and I found Cowspiracy. So that's the way I went vegan. I watch Cowspiracy. It not makes me feel like for environment reasons. It's just because of the animals. Because in Cowspiracy, they talk about the way that if you eat fish, the animals can get enough food, like dolphins, sharks. And I was like, no, I want them to eat fish, not me. And I stopped eating animals.
I mean, that is an environmental reason. You are protecting wildlife instead of taking food away from them.
Yeah, and I went vegan the next day.
From one day to the next?
Yes.
You've been busy since then.
Yeah.
I've been watching and following you on Instagram. I'm sure you're doing some work with Direct Action Everywhere recently.
Yeah.
In the streets of Mexico.
Yes, we have done so much work. We make our first big action on April. We stopped the work of a slaughterhouse for 1 hour. And like 2 months ago, we do lockdown with Rosa's Law. And I did a performance. It was amazing.
Wow. Yeah. How was that? How was the reaction from the people in Mexico?
Well, it not happens so common. So they were like, what are they doing? What's this? Yeah, they were shocked. They were like, look at that. And it was awesome because we tried so hard to make the news on the radio, the media, to look at us. And with the Rosa's Law, they did. So it was amazing. Yeah.
So you got good media coverage from that in Mexico?
Yeah. Just with the Rosa's Law, because with everything else, we did like so much actions. And they were like, animal lovers, but not talk about the right of animals.
Yeah. So they were portraying you just as people who love animals.
Yes. And
they didn't bring in the ethical side of it.
Exactly. It's hard.
And also I've seen that you do work with the Save Movement, Anonymous for the Voiceless as well.
Yes, and Boycott. Yeah. With my first action, activism, it was with Animal Save Movement. And yeah, my first time doing activism, it was at a vigil. So
okay, wow.
It was really hard.
Yeah.
And I went depressed like for 2 days. But what helped me, it was that Joshua Entis came. So he gave a workshop about how you can help animals without falling in depression.
Yeah, because it's very tough for you to watch that and to witness it. So how did you overcome it? What's the secret that you'd share?
He told us that we need to rest sometimes, to take a day, to maybe take a month. And we don't have to think like, oh, you need to be there because the animals need you. You want to think that, but you can think like someone else is doing what you want to do, and you can tell them like, please, if you are in Anonymous for the Voiceless, just tell someone like, can you do average like 1 hour for me or something like that?
Yeah. And so where in Mexico do you do your Cubes of Truth?
Everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
went
huge
to-
city, so it's
Yes.
you can cover all over.
No, we went like universities, sometimes downtown, tourist places,
Yeah.
museums.
And how do the Mexicans react when you're showing them slaughterhouse footage and common practice images of what goes on in animal agriculture?
Really different, because some people are like, wow, that's what I needed to see, to watch. Like, I needed that to take the next step to go vegan. And some people, it's like, stop doing that. Why are you doing this? This is not the correct way.
Yeah. Because you have a very heavy meat culture in Mexico.
Yeah.
A lot of meat, a lot of cheese. It seems to be everywhere. As every time I'm in a different country, I open Uber Eats to have food delivered. And I was looking for vegan options, and there were very, very few.
Yeah. We have like more options right now
Yeah.
than a year ago. But really, Mexican people, it's like beef with cheese and then ice cream with, I don't know.
Is it easy to make Mexican food vegan though?
Yeah, it's really easy because we have like a lot of vegetables and fruits, and they are really, really cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see in Mexico, there's a huge obesity problem. And I was reading recently that they even surpassed the US in terms of obesity, and it affects up to 30% of the adult population here. Do you think that people are considering moving towards, let's say, at least a plant-based diet without mentioning, obviously, the ethics behind veganism?
Well, I hope so, because we are like the number one diabetes disease problem with the death cause. So yeah, I hope so. I don't know if they consider plant-based diet because they seem extreme to that, but
Yeah.
they want to eat less beef, so that's
Yeah.
something.
But I mean, is that extreme, or is it the way we eat now that's extreme? That's the question, isn't it?
Yes, totally.
I mean, it does
Yes.
seem crazy the way that we eat, and the food that's like that we create, and how much resources we waste as well in our society when it comes to food and the animal industry. What did your family say when you went vegan?
Well, my mom always was like with the idea that she wanted to be vegetarian, but she was like, I just will eat some meat, some cheese, not that much as Mexican moms. So when I watched Conspiracy, she was with me, and she was like, so you want to go vegan? And I was like, yes. And she was like, it's okay, Gustavo. It's fine. So she was happy for me. She was really supportive. All my other family was like, you are crazy, and they still like that.
Yeah, obviously Christmas just passed.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Well, I just spent Christmas with my mom because all my family traveled to Colima, and I really don't want to go to a place where they just eat animals. I don't feel right, so I didn't went. And my mom and I ate the turkey, so it was okay.
Yeah, so you weren't surrounded by a huge extended family eating animal products around you.
Yeah, I didn't want that, so...
Yeah. And it always brings up those conversations as well, doesn't it? And they always start that conversation, and then they feel uncomfortable as soon as you start actually telling them the truth.
And I feel really uncomfortable too, because I see the animal in the table, and that's not right for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you stay silent, or would you say something?
I always say something, so it's not easy for me because my family probably hates me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do feel that way. And have you tried to cook for them and provide them with like alternatives that explain what goes on and different alternatives for them?
Yeah, actually, I cook a lot, and my family loves my food, so they always ask me for food, but I'm like, sometimes I don't want to cook for them because they just don't stop eating animals, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know, I think it's a waste of time, but I always try to make them delicious food so they don't eat animals.
Yeah, you want to impress them and show them what can be done without harming and killing animals. And it's always uncomfortable, isn't it, to have that conversation with your family, even though when I was looking at the images of when you were doing the direct action, You were in the street, like covered in blood.
Yes.
What was that blood?
I don't really know because I didn't make it, but I think it's glycerin, vegetable, red colorant. I don't know if water, maybe.
It looked very real.
Yeah, it took so long to take out of your body the blood.
It must have been everywhere. But I mean, when you were there in the street doing that, how did you feel?
Well, the first time we did a performance like that was at the market. They sold dead bodies, and we represent chickens. It's the image in my Instagram.
Yeah.
It was really uncomfortable because people here, it's so annoying. So the men started taking pictures and laughing, but not like thinking about the action. And the second time it was for Rose's Law, and we were on a cage, so it was really different. People start thinking about why they are in the cage, so it was really, really different. And I was in a cage for more than 6 hours, so I really could feel like, wow, I don't have water I can eat. I'm in the cold, then I was in the sun, I was born, and I only can think about animals pass through this every day, and I'm here like 6 hours and I want to get out.
How big was the cage?
Really small. We were like 3 people in, I don't know, maybe like 1.5 meter.
Could you stand in the cage, or you were sitting?
No, it was like, I couldn't sit. I was like down, but not sit.
You're like crouching
Yeah, maybe.
for 6 hours.
Yes, with 2 other guys.
Wow.
So it was really uncomfortable. Yes.
Yeah, it does make you think, like, if that's how it felt for you after 6 hours,
Yeah.
how could it be for the animals when they're transported over such long distances as well, in these terrible conditions? That
And with more animals, because we were like 3 people, but we could move a little.
Yeah.
They can move.
And you knew you were going to get out.
Yes, totally.
And this was in a public place in...
Totally in the downtown,
Wow.
Mexico City downtown.
Yeah.
It was like the biggest action we made this year. It was really successful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So just under 2 years now that you've been vegan, how have you seen it change and how have you seen it grow in Mexico since then?
I think it's better now because when I went vegan, I didn't know where to go. And right now it's like there are so many restaurants. A month ago, they opened another restaurant. And every month they opened another and another and another restaurants. They have like vegan options everywhere. There's a famous taqueria in here. So Mexico loves tacos. And we love that taqueria because it's next to another taqueria that sell dead bodies. And the vegan one, it's always full, but always. And the normal one, it's empty.
Do you think it's full of vegans or do you think it's full of non-vegans?
I think you can find every person that just want a good taco. It's not vegan.
If the food's good, then obviously people are going to go. And
totally.
I think that's always the great thing. When there's an offer and a good offer of good food, then people are going to go regardless. And it starts that conversation, doesn't it, for you? You can... People see this is possible. We can be vegan and enjoy food and enjoy life.
Totally. Yes, you can eat the same way, but without hurting animals.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception that people have about veganism in Mexico?
I think the flavor of the meat. They think like, I'm gonna miss that flavor. But what we tell to them, it's like, in Mexico we do not eat like beef without a flavor. We put some vegetables, we put sausage, we put dips, and every we put on the beef, it's vegan. So yeah. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, if you were to eat the raw meat,
they will not like that.
I don't think anyone would like that.
Yes, totally.
Or if they had to go and kill it themselves and cut it up and remove the skin and do the whole process by themselves, I think all the enjoyment would be removed from that, and everyone would be vegan.
Totally.
On that basis as well. So you've made me hungry already. Like we've only started 15 minutes. So obviously tacos, you can make tacos vegan easily, right? Clearly
Yeah.
there are, and obviously I've seen also quite a few places that like the empanadas and all this kind of stuff. Like there's so
Yes.
much there, so much amazing Mexican food, because it's kind of like a go-to food around the world. Like Italian, you find it everywhere,
Yes.
and I find it so easy to make vegan as well.
Yes, I find it too.
Have you traveled outside of Mexico?
Yes, but not since I'm vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Where do you want to go to?
I think I want to go to UK, of course.
Why?
Um,
It's cold. It rains.
because they have like really good restaurants. I want to do activism there. I think they are doing things really amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of activism in the UK, and a lot is growing there as well. And then they had the vegan camp out as well over the summer, and they've got a lot of things going for veganism.
Yes, like search activism. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that work.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing that they can make publicity in the streets, and we can put anything in here because they remove it. So
Really?
yeah, we tried so hard with boycott. We put some publicity of animal liberation in the streets, but we passed like a week from where we started putting that, and it's like it's not there. Yeah.
So you were putting like posters and stickers and this
Yes.
kind of stuff.
Yes. So maybe stickers stay more,
Yeah.
but the publicity no.
Ah.
Yeah. People, it's not okay with that.
So the government actually removes it.
No, the government, but people, like if they sell tacos or any food that includes animal exploitation, they don't want to see that.
Yeah.
They think like people, it's not going to buy me, so they
Yeah.
remove it.
Do you think Mexico will ever go 100% vegan?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's easier now because you can find vegan cheese at the market. A year ago, you can't find cheese at the market. So right now, it's really growing up, the movement. So I hope so someday.
Because you went very quickly from going vegan to becoming an activist as well.
Yes.
Because most people, they go vegan and they're silent vegans for quite a long
Yes.
time. And then a few years down the line, they become active. Why did you go so quickly into activism?
Well, I love Instagram. So one day I was like in my Instagram and someone shared Seb Alex's stories from behind the walls. He was at the slaughterhouse. And I saw that. It was the first footage I saw from animal slaughters. And I was thinking like, who is that guy? Why is he there? And yeah, I think like, what can I do to stop that? So I started following him and searching what is he doing. So I saw Anonymous for the Voiceless. I started watching his videos in Anonymous for the Voiceless. And then I saw the vigils, and I really thought like, I need to do that. I need to help animals, and I started doing activism.
Okay, yeah. So you think you use mainly your online platform through Instagram to share a message about veganism? Because I mean, social media is an incredible tool that we have to spread a message, and there's so much great content out there. And you said you're a digital creator.
I started doing posts in another page. It's Consume Vegan. And what I want to share, it's like in Mexico City, we have like a really famous page. It's a website called Where to Go.
Okay.
So it's really famous because you can find the best places to go. And I wanted to do something like that, but vegan. So I post like where to go to do activism, where to go to eat really delicious food in Mexico, and information so I can help people. And I think it's growing up so fast, and I really like that.
Yeah, I'll put a link to it. And yeah, because you obviously have created a kind of like a guide for, kind of like a vegan guide for Mexico. And that is the thing, isn't it? People need solutions. People need to know where to shop, where to eat, where they can go to find all these things. And so you mentioned obviously Seb Are there other activists out there that inspired you to get active as well?
Yeah, Seb, Alex, Darlings, what other? Joey Carbstrong, James Spay.
And so of the activists that you mentioned, and most of them are men that you see at the
Yes.
forefront, you know, the ones that seem to get all the media attention. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe the society do not accept the power of the girls. I don't know.
Yeah. Because, I mean, most vegans are women.
Yes.
And that's why it's something I struggle to understand is why it's men that are at the forefront. And you see a lot of videos of men and you see they get a lot more media time than women. It doesn't seem to make sense.
Maybe it's because also women think like they will not be heard, so they do not do podcasts, they do not do videos. So I don't know, maybe it's one of the reasons.
Do you think that's true though?
No, I don't think so. I think people will hear you if you have good content, you have good information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially from the way I see it, because it's something that makes me quite uncomfortable, is that you see it is mainly men and mainly white men that seem to be everywhere and popping up everywhere. And obviously two sides to it. Obviously the animals don't care, because the animals don't care if you're a man, a woman, gay,
Yes.
straight, black, white, yellow, whatever you can be, as long as you're trying to fight for animal liberation. And I think that's the key to it. But then again, it does seem weird that we've gone into that same way of society of putting like men at the front of it.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I mean, like in Mexico City, most of the activists are girls.
Okay.
So in the world, there are a lot of girls doing activism too. But I think sometimes people think like they just want to look pretty, they just look like they want to be fashion, they want to, I don't know, but it's not true. I think girls can be talking about really important themes. So yeah.
Yeah. And in Mexican society, is it similar in that way that men are mainly given the voice as well?
Well, maybe in some items, but when you talk about activism, most of the important sources are girls. So I don't think so
Yeah?
here. Yeah.
Who are the other Mexican activists that we can shout out to?
Well, Michelle is one of them. I can give you the Instagram.
I'll add thanks as well.
Valesca, they are the organizers of the XC and Animal Saving here. There are some YouTubers really important in Mexico City for veganism. Vida Vegana, it's like a blog for recipes and things like that. It's not about animal liberation, but it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many ways to approach it, isn't there? I mean,
Yes.
you need people who are doing more about food. You need people who are doing
Yeah.
more about activism. You need people who are doing more about health as well. Like the example of
Yes.
Game Changers.
Yes.
Did you watch Game Changers?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I
What did you think?
Well, I think it's really good. I just think they are confusing people because they think like veganism is a thing you can take 1 day, 2 days, or maybe a month, and I don't think that way. I think they should talk about plant-based diet, not veganism.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, they kind of mix the two terms, don't they? They're talking about a vegan diet, and when all they're talking about is a plant-based diet. They're not
Yes.
talking about a vegan lifestyle or ethics at all when it comes to that. They're only talking about the health perspective of a plant-based diet.
Yes. So I think one of our mistake is because we always call like this food is vegan, this cheese is vegan, but it's like it's cheese made for humans. So one thing I started doing like this year was stop calling vegan food like vegan food. I just call like it's plant-based food. So people don't get confused, like vegan food, it's just plant-based food, and food do not have ethic reasons. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. It's vegan food doesn't really make sense in a way. It's the plant-based food, isn't it, that we tend to confuse, and I confuse the two quite a lot as well. You know, we use those two terms interchangeably.
It's difficult to change it.
When we say vegan restaurants, we don't say plant-based restaurants.
Yes, because it's like, I mean, some restaurants, the owners are not vegans, and we call it vegan, but the owner will spend their money on animal abuse. So
yeah,
I don't think we can call any place or food vegan because they do not have ethic. So I don't know.
I mean, technically they say you can't even call money vegan because there's animal products in dollar bills, or even you don't know where that money's going to go. So it's
Totally.
Once you start falling into that rabbit hole, you know, it kind of gets very, very, very confusing. And like we talk about, say, the vegan burgers at McDonald's, at Burger King, whereas that money is going to the same place as animal exploitation.
They will not do like, this money is for animal liberation, this money is for beef. Of course not.
What do you think about these products? Are they in Mexico?
No. It's Carl's Jr. and they got like a plant-based hamburger, but it's like you can ask for cheese, you can't ask for bread, you need to ask for lettuce instead of bread. It's really, really bad. And people, it's like, wow, it's a vegan hamburger at Carl's Jr., but it's not vegan, it's vegetarian. Beyond Burger just arrived this year, so it's in a lot of places now, but I think it's not really famous in here because it's really expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite an expensive burger. I mean, you think eventually the prices will go down once they start producing more. And there are more of these alternatives as well.
Yes.
And I saw one that was really weird. It was a burger that was like, one patty was a plant-based patty, and then there was cheese, regular cheese, and then there was a meat burger, like a meat patty on top.
Oh, yes.
So it was like half plant-based burger, half meat burger, which I thought was the strangest thing ever.
I saw like that a burger. I don't remember the place, but it was in here, and it was like a keto burger with egg and beef and a burger from plant-based. So I don't know. It's really weird. Yeah.
I mean, obviously your focus is about animals, is about animal liberation. That's why you became vegan, and that's what you're fighting for. But how have you felt physically as well since you became vegan?
Really well. I think I haven't been sick since I went vegan. Even I didn't have a flu. I feel really more happy. So yeah, I'm really good.
Yes, especially the mental state, isn't it? I feel that changes because you're at peace with what you're doing. You're at peace with what you're eating and the way you're living. You're not contributing to incredibly cruel industries on a daily basis.
And I think one of the most important thing is because I started going to a vegan festival. We do it like once a month in here. So it's everything vegan, it's eco-friendly, it's pet-friendly. It's really, really amazing place.
Yeah.
And in there I met so many people. And doing activism, I met some other people that are amazing. So I built that vegan community that puts me in a really good mood.
Yeah. So it's like the whole thing together in that festival. You've got the vegan side and you've got the environmental side as well.
Yes.
Have you become more sensitive to the environmental impact since you became vegan?
I'm trying to, I try to do low waste.
I mean, you have a very nice coffee mug.
Yes.
I have the same one, a little bit smaller though, that my mum bought me. So.
I love it.
Yeah,
and I got like my things in my bag. So yeah, I try to.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? I mean, it's overwhelming almost when you look at the environmental aspects, you know, like single-use plastic bottles. And, I mean, you travel and then everything is single-use as well. I mean, it's really tough. And all we can do is try to reduce as much as we can that impact. But then that's where I see the real difference with veganism, is there's no try the best you can when it comes to animal exploitation. It has to be zero, because how much is acceptable?
Yes, it's like, I don't want to exploit animals today, but tomorrow it's okay. So it doesn't work like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Just gonna exploit animals 3 times a week.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. And
So it's weird when people say like, I tried veganism, and you're like, no, you tried a plant-based diet. So
Yeah.
it's so different.
Yeah. And why do you think a lot of people fail?
Because they are not really good informed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they think they can just eat, I don't know, salads, or they just can eat vegan burgers. But it's not like that. You have to eat whole foods. You have to eat a lot of things. You have to supplement yourself with B12. Yeah.
But how did you do it then? Because as you did it from one day to the next, clearly you must have changed so much in the way that you approached food, the way you cooked, the way you did your groceries, the way you eat and you feed yourself as well. Because a lot of people do it over a course of time, but you went from one day to the next.
Well, the thing that helped me a lot was that year I was going to a nutritionist. So in the first day I started with him, he was like, you need to quit milk, you need to quit so many animal products. So it helped me a lot, because when I think I want to go vegan, I already quit most of the food I already eaten. So yeah.
What did the nutritionist say about you going vegan?
He didn't like it.
Yeah.
He's not vegan. He was like, no, watch this documentary, you need to eat animals. And I was like, of course I don't want to eat
Which
animals.
documentary was that?
I don't remember, but he says it's like human race need to eat meat. I don't remember the name. I'm gonna look for it.
I'd be very curious to watch that.
Yes, I haven't seen it because I was like really convinced I do not want to eat animals.
Yeah.
So I just let it pass.
And let's say, hypothetically, if it was bad for your health, would you stay vegan?
Yeah, because I care more about animals, and I think you can eat healthy in a normal diet or a vegan diet. Well, not a vegan diet, a plant-based diet. Yeah. So I have a friend now. She's a nutritionist. Her name is Mariana Vite. She do amazing videos about plant-based food. She's
nice.
really, really good at it. And with her, I have learned a lot. And I'm like, you can eat as healthful as you want in a plant-based diet or a normal diet. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I often find people confuse, is to say that a plant-based diet is healthy, okay, but it's only healthy if you do it right. It's
Yes.
only healthy if you do it properly and you get all the nutrients that you need. Because I see it even myself, and when I did it at the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yes.
I was like, as long as no one died, I don't care. I'll eat it. I think most of my diet was French fries and bread, probably. That's literally everything I ate. And
Yes.
obviously now it's been like 3 years and I need to start thinking about doing it better, eating, like we mentioned earlier, the whole food plant-based diet. So do you have any tips that you'd give to people that are considering moving to a plant-based diet?
Of course, doing the challenge 22, and to find for a plant-based nutritionist so they can help. Yeah. Go with a professional.
Is the one that you mentioned, her videos all in Spanish?
Yes, her videos are in Spanish.
Okay. On YouTube?
Yes.
And you get to learn a new language as well if you don't speak Spanish, so it's a great way.
Yes, she's really good. Yeah.
What would you say, like, her top tips?
Supplement yourself with B12. She's like really, really intense in that. Eat whole foods and research. Yeah.
Do you supplement in B12, obviously?
Yes, I haven't supplemented myself like the first almost a year. But since I met her, I supplement myself.
Yeah. What do you do? Spray, the pills,
Pills. Yeah.
I always forget to take mine. I'm really bad with them.
Yes, I'm really too, but I tried because every time I see something of her in Instagram or something like that, it's like, oh, you need to take B12. Yes.
It's a good reminder for you.
Yes.
Yeah, but everyone's a bit afraid of that you have of supplementing with B12. That's kind of an argument. People saying, well, if I have to supplement, then it's not healthy. Then I'm not getting everything I need. Whereas most carnivores, meat eaters, omnivores are B12 deficient as well.
Yes, they think like they do not take supplements, but in farms, the farmers supplement the animals. So, yeah, they are taking supplements by eating animals.
Yeah, and plus they're getting all the negative sides from it, including slaughtering animals. But then even the saturated fats and then the heart diseases, the diabetes, and all of the stuff that we were talking about earlier.
Yes, actually, my friend worked with diabetes patients, and she is so insist in you need to take a plant-based diet. You need to stop eating animals. You need to stop doing this. So yes, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you take any other supplements apart from B12 or?
No, not really.
Yeah. And do you do blood tests?
No.
No, I always recommend to do them once a year. I've been putting mine off for a really long time because I hate needles with a passion. I'm terrified of needles and blood, and even the times I've done street activism, just watching the footage and seeing the blood, for me it's like I hate seeing it so much. But then you kind of cut off to it when you're doing like activism and you're talking to people, you know, you're there for a good reason, so
yes,
it's worth it. It's the only way I can overcome my fear of blood.
Yes, I think like it's not for me, it's for the animals. So yes,
I mean, literally, if I cut myself, I'll pass out. I'm so bad with it. I'm terrified of blood and everything. So anyway, 2020, new year.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
I want to help to organize the official animal rights march in here with Search. I'm working on it, so I think it's the most important thing I'm going to do the next year.
When's that going to be?
August 15.
Okay, so you have a few months.
Yes.
Yeah. How many people are you expecting?
I don't know, because this year we were gonna make it, but they canceled it. The organizer moved to, I don't know where she lives. It's Adriana. I don't know if you know her.
No.
She's a vegan activist from here, and she was like really, really into it. So she started working with animal safe movement, and she left Mexico. So she didn't organize the march.
Yeah.
She canceled it. So people in here was really angry. Yeah, because we were like telling everyone like it's going to be the march, you need to assist, but so I hope this year it's not happening that. I really want so many people to assist. I don't know.
Yeah. Are there a lot of other social movements in Mexico? Like the climate change movement or political movement?
Climate change started, but it's like really hard because some of the environment activists are not vegan, so they do not like to be part of the climate safe movement. Okay. They are from Fridays for the Future.
Would you work with them?
No. I support them, but no. Yeah.
Why not?
I think I never see like in the media, oh, this Friday we're gonna march. So it's really difficult because when I saw it, it's like, oh, they marched today. So yeah.
Yeah. But like philosophically, let's say, would you support and work with non-vegan movements?
I tried not to. But what we do here, it's like we do our movement and help them with our movement. Like if they march for animal rights, but they are not vegan, we support them, but we go like, oh, this is the DXC group, or this is the Animal Safe Movement group. We support you, but we are not speciesism. Right, we do not support that.
Yeah.
And people, it's like, they are really extremist.
Yeah. What do you think their logic is behind being environmentalists but not vegan?
I think they do not have the information, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people doing like zero waste information. They care a lot about the planet, but they do not nothing about animals, agriculture. So yeah.
I mean, I find it interesting because, I admire people who are fully into zero waste. They have so much commitment and they do amazing work for the environment, and I really, really, really support them. But for me, I mean, obviously statistics, we can debate the percentage of animal agriculture, the impact it has on the environment. We can debate all these things. But who are you saving the environment for if you're killing and eating them? That's my question.
It's like when you go to a sushi restaurant, you can find like everywhere posters that say like, we do not give the straw.
Yeah.
But you're like, okay, you do not give the straw because you want to save fish, but you eat fish. So
yeah, it is a bit of an odd one, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's convenient to see it in that way. And I think it's that it clears your conscience to focus on such a small thing. Because straws in the ocean, it's like 0.01%.
Yes.
I'm not saying you should use straws.
No, of
but
course.
Then 50% of the plastic is due to fishing.
Yes.
So should we focus on the bigger picture or should we focus on the straw? That's the question that I always seem to ask people.
We need to focus on informate people, educate them. Like, they need to eat healthy food, and that's, of course, plants. They need to get maybe more about animal rights, ethics, maybe. They need to connect their values with their actions. And we need to educate them about the planet and the environment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So something I discovered recently from environmentalists is freegan. So it's not vegan, they just eat food that's free. So they'll go through, I don't know if it's the exact term, but they go through like bins of supermarkets and all these places, and they'll take the food that's been thrown away, that's gone past the expiry dates, including meat, dairy, eggs, and they'll eat that.
Wow.
Just because it's free and they don't want to waste food instead of creating a demand. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a good idea for the people that do not have money, and you do not waste that food. But I do not support that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good for people who need it.
Do you think that veganism is a privilege for rich people?
I don't think so. I think the problem is some places they want to make money with veganism, so they sell the food really, really expensive.
Yeah.
But it's not about the real cost about the food. Like if you made rice, cheese, or almond cheese, maybe potato cheese, it's really cheap.
Yeah.
But when you buy it, it's really expensive.
Because it only becomes expensive when you buy those like cheese replacements, when you buy the meat replacements, like we were talking about the Beyond Burger. That
or
is
the
expensive.
supplements.
Yeah, the supplements, that kind of stuff. If you stick to the whole food plant-based diet, it's actually very affordable.
Yes, especially in Mexico, we are like, we have a lot of vegetables and fruit really, really cheap. Like you can buy 1 kilo of bananas from, I don't know, maybe 15 pesos. It's like less than $1.
Really?
Yeah, it's really, really
Make
cheap.
a lot of smoothies with that.
Yes. Yes, it's really, really cheap.
Yeah.
But people like to buy Beyond Meat.
Yeah. I mean, someone was messaged me the other day about they were thinking about going vegan. And they'd started buying like the meat replacement products, like the soy burgers and the fake cheeses. And I said to them, like, I can understand why you want that because you're used to eating it, but that's not necessarily the diet that I recommend. What do you recommend to people who are thinking to go vegan?
Maybe start cooking, make your own food, learn recipes. I mean, here in Mexico City, we have like a really, really good YouTube channel. It's called Cocina Vegan Fácil. It's Easy Vegan Cook. Okay. So yeah, it's really, really amazing because you can learn to do cheese, plant-based cheese. You want to do like, I don't know, nachos or seitan, and they have the recipe in there. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think you need to look for that channel.
Another link going down below for that.
maybe if you really, really want to buy a supplement, just find the cheapest one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any real difference between the supplements, is there really? I mean, there's so many out there.
And the other thing, it's like, at least in here, if you want a really good beef or something like that, it's really expensive. So I always compare, like, okay, you buy like the best cheese in the supermarket, and if you can buy the plant-based cheese, it's like the same cost.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the most expensive things on the menu, it's in a
Yes.
restaurant. It's not going to be the lentil soup or the whatever.
Fried.
Yeah, the vegan options. It's going to
Yes.
be the steak, the lobster, the seafood,
Yes.
and all of those kind of food. I mean, I don't know why this argument of veganism being expensive always seems to come up, regardless of the country that I seem to go to as well.
They
And it's
always
quite
say
interesting.
it's expensive.
And also the cultural argument. I feel like everyone has the cultural argument not to be vegan. I was talking to someone yesterday and like, but I can't go vegan because I'm Czech from the Czech Republic. And I mean, I don't know much about Czech culture,
No, I don't.
but compared to, let's say, I don't know, like Mexican culture, you have a huge beef culture. I mean, in the UK, we love our roast dinners and turkeys and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You look, all countries seem to have quite a heavy meat culture anyway. So why, I think anyone can break away from that if you realize why you want to do it, and which is you don't want to kill animals.
And I think you don't have to quite the culture and traditions like that. I think you can make it just a plant-based tradition.
Yeah.
Like if you can eat tofurkey, eat tofurkey, not eat the turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. And also about religion. I mean,
Yes.
Mexico is a very Catholic
Yes.
country.
Well, we use like the Genesis. We talk so much about the God give us the seed, give us the plant-based food to eat, and God said, "Do not kill animals, do not eat blood, do not eat." I forgot the name of grasa. So, well, it says just do not eat animals.
Yeah. Basically.
So yeah, basically,
Yeah.
and we use that, but it's really difficult.
But do you think you can be Catholic and vegan?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if God exists, he would not like people hurting other sentient beings. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot in most religious texts that is very pro-vegan. Like you just mentioned, the Genesis and different verses that mention don't harm animals, don't kill. I mean, thou shalt not kill seems to be quite explicit, really, when you think about it.
Yes.
But then even in, let's say, in the UK, where religion isn't quite as big, people still use the religious argument to justify, even though they're not religious. So it's just excuses.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, people are just looking for excuses to continue
Yes.
their habits of eating animals.
That's not what I'm trying to do in the Consume Vegan. I just made a post about the excuses. Like, I don't know if 6 excuses or 7, but it was like, you need to eat 12, you need to eat protein, you need to eat animals. I don't remember the others, but yeah, I'm trying to informate people, to educate them. So I think it's the best thing we can do,
Yeah.
educate them.
So we mentioned, obviously, it is a new year, 2020. We mentioned that you're going to be organising a great... I'll try and come to the march, actually.
Yes, please.
That would be so much fun.
I want Sam Alex to come. I
Yeah.
invited him, so I hope he can come.
Yeah, well, he's in Bali now, isn't he? So he's taking his
Yes.
time off. We're still working.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I took my time off, like, for my birthday in June. I wanted to be in peace, and I was like, my mental health was not good because I started hating people.
No way.
Yeah, like, oh, why they did not change. So for my birthday, I just went like to a vegan restaurant. I spent my time with vegan friends, but I really stopped doing vigils. I went to Cubes of Truth, but I stopped doing it. Well, I stopped doing disruptions and something like that. I just worked with Anonymous for the Voiceless for like 2 months. and I went to sanctuary. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
really
it's
good.
important to take that break, isn't it?
Yes.
To take
I
that
think
time away, especially for someone like you who is doing a lot of, like direct action, disruptions. I mean, it's a lot of confrontation. It's a lot of hate. It's a lot of negative that can come from it as well. But then you don't realize along the lines the positive impact you can have on people and the difference that you're making.
Yeah, I think it's important because you need to do outreach peacefully. You need to be calm, and if you're angry, you never will make it right. So, yeah.
How was your first outreach conversation?
I don't remember the first. I remember the first time participating in Anonymous for the Voiceless, but the first conversation I don't remember. I just remember in that cube I was really, really happy. I'm like, I need to do this every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do outreach, like I did outreach with maybe more than 10 people, and more than a half of them were like, wow, I really, really need to cure that. Even I remember a family where the mom was vegetarian and her husband and child, well, they do not support like animal abuse, but they wasn't vegetarian or vegan. So in that moment, she was like, now I have the information to give the right food to my daughter.
Yeah.
And they were really, really happy.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing when you have that connection with people. And for me, it's like more and more I'm really confused by vegetarianism.
Yes.
The more I think about it, the more it confuses me. Because obviously, if you're vegetarian, most people have chosen to do it because they don't want to harm animals. And yet, if you become vegetarian, you're supporting, in my opinion, probably two of the cruelest industries that there are. The dairy industry and the egg industry.
Yes.
And I think they're worse. And they are the same thing as well. They're the same industries as the beef industry. The same industry as the chicken industry. So
Yes.
I think if you go vegetarian with the animals, and when you make that connection, that, okay, it's actually the same thing, then it's quite easy to go vegan, really.
I think it's because social media lies. I mean, here we have like really 3 big brands of milk, and the biggest one do not have any plant-based option.
Okay.
None. Like, it's crazy. That brand always says in their commercials like, oh, happy cows, free cows. And you see the cows in the commercial and they are like healthy, they are really, really good cows.
Yeah.
But you're like thinking, well, I think now, of course, they are not pregnant, they are healthy, and I don't know, I think they are lying all the time, so people believe that lies.
Of course, and then we're so quick to talk about vegan propaganda.
Yes.
Whereas the propaganda is what we've been subject to since we were kids.
Yes.
Through the Happy Meals at McDonald's.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom was like, I love cows. Her favorite animals are dolphins and cows. And I really was like, yeah, I love cows too. They are so beautiful. And I always drink milk like crazy. Yeah. So in my mind, I think like in that moment of my life, I just could think about happy cows.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the abuse. I didn't know about the rape. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that cows had to be pregnant to produce milk.
Yeah, me neither.
I thought they just, kept, like trees
Produce
grow
milk,
apples,
yes.
I thought it was the same thing. I had no idea that was the case.
And so many people do not know that.
Yeah,
when you're in a cube of truth and you tell them like cows need to be pregnant to give milk, they are like, no, you're lying. And you're like, no, they need to be a mom so they can give milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's that people do not know the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what obviously we're trying to do, is share that information and break through that propaganda that we've been victims of for so long. I mean, I don't ever hate people for not being vegan or blame people for it. I mean, it is easy to get angry sometimes.
Totally.
especially when people make those jokes. I mean, I made those jokes not that long ago. Like, I was very quick to make fun of vegans. But once you have that knowledge in hand, and once you've shared that message calm as possible, which isn't always easy, I feel like a lot of people do relate and do connect and do slowly start to think about it, even if it's months down the line.
I think it's funny because the person that I told you that started sharing the post about veganism, his friends were vegan or vegetarian, all the friends. So he was bullied by them.
Yeah.
It was really funny because I saw so many stories telling like, oh, please, you need to stop eating meat. This is ridiculous. And he was like, stop bothering me. So they bullied him so much and he went vegan. It was like, wow.
So that actually works. Yeah.
Yes, it was really surprising for me. Of course, they are all models and actors. So they care a lot about their body. They care a lot about health. So yeah.
I mean, it's great if you have, models and actors and beautiful people, at least by the standards of society, that do go vegan. I think it does encourage and inspire people to do the same. Like when you have all the famous people going vegan, like Billie Eilish became vegan, and she has a huge following, especially with teenagers.
My favorite model is vegan. Elizabeth Turner.
Okay, I know nothing about models.
She's really beautiful.
Yeah.
She's amazing, and she's vegan. She have done a campaign with PETA.
Okay, yeah. PETA likes to use naked women on there.
Yeah, a lot.
There's a lot of them, and
yes.
But they get a lot of criticism for it as well because they say it's objectifying women.
Yes, totally.
What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's not the right way, but I also think like maybe if some men are going to go vegan or to research veganism with that, maybe it helps. Yeah.
I mean, it's always that question, isn't it, about what's politically correct and what's effective?
Yeah, because I mean, when Direct Action Everywhere asked me for performance, I do not think about my body. I do not think about, oh, I'm gonna be almost naked in the street. I think about animal liberation. So people stop because they see almost naked people. So I think it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, it is your body. It is your decision.
Yes.
It is. Who am I to say you shouldn't be half naked in the street protesting for animals? You know,
yes.
Doing a peaceful demonstration for animals. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's not my role or anyone's role to say what's right or what's wrong for you to do.
And you can decide. You can say like, no, I do not want to be almost naked on your magazine or on your website. So I think it's your decision if you want to make it. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever talked about the Rose's Law?
No.
Rose's Law started because some activists from DXC rescued, I think, 6 chickens. But in that action, everything was wrong. Like, police arrived and arrested like 58 people. It was really insane. And they saw the rescued chickens. And what they did was kill them in front of the activists. So they want to hurt activists like that. Like,
wait, the police killed the chickens in front of the activists?
Yes, like what can I do to hurt them? I'm gonna kill this animal in front of them.
But that's not their role.
No, and that's really sick. Yeah. So they could rescue just one. Like they hide the chicken and his name, I don't know if it's he or she, but it's Rose. So Rose was alive like almost a year, but no, I think months. I don't remember. But she passed away, and what the animal rights activists are fighting for is the rescue. They ask for the right to rescue. So Rose's Law, it's a demand to make a legislation for right to rescue.
In Mexico?
Or in the whole world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because where did this happen?
This happened the last year, like I think in September of 2020. 18. So yeah, I told you 58 people were arrested. Rose's law asks for 5 important things, so I'm gonna read it. Like, the first one is the right to rescue from distress and exploitation. The second one is right to have a protected home, habit, or ecosystem. The third one is the right to have interest represented in a court and protected by law. And the fourth one, the right to not be exploited, abused, or killed by humans. The fifth is the right to be free or to have a guardian, but not to be owned.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's like really important because we are fighting for the same law in the whole world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We're fighting for that for all humans.
Yes.
But we're not extending that to non-human animals.
Yeah, that's what we are asking. Like, the law says we need to protect sentient beings, and the animals are sentient beings too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so it would only make sense. So it would be the right to rescue, as in to go into farms, into slaughterhouses, and remove those animals from there.
Yes, because the animals seem like property or objects to the industry, to law. It's the same. So when we rescue animals and we do not have the permission, we could be arrested. So here in Mexico City, in the big action in April, we rescued like 6 chickens. I think 5 were legal. One of them we hid to them. But yeah, what
made those 5 legal?
We asked the farmer, like, if you want us to leave because we didn't let the workers slaughter animals, if you want to continue working, if you want to make money, we just want to animals free. So could you give us some animals? We will not eat them. And yeah, he gave us 5 chickens.
So it was kind of a negotiation between you and the farmer. Because in the eyes of society, you're stealing.
Yes, totally.
You're stealing their property.
Yes, that's why we're asking to make it alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really tough to put that into place as long as animals are considered to be property, objects, and commodities.
Totally.
And that as long as people are making their living from killing.
Yeah, we're like doing it right here in Mexico City. Not our best, but we have a law like animal rights, something like that. But it's like the chickens need to be like 1 for a cage, not 6. But they put like whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so
there's no supervision, is there, for this?
Yeah, we need supervision. But I think we're making better every time. So, yeah.
I mean, that's the complicated debate when you get into trying to improve the conditions. Is because then you're falling into like animal welfare and trying to improve their conditions when what conditions are good enough when they're going to be slaughtered in the end anyway.
Yes.
So it's a really tough kind of debate to have, and that's why people, I think, even those that do consume these products, they try to buy like grass-fed, free-range and all that because they try to justify it through they had a better life.
Yeah.
But that better life ends when they get stabbed in the throat.
And it's never a better life. It's like if you go to a free range, it's not okay. They are not free. They are not happy. Yeah, they are not healthy. So I think it's not okay. They are just more lies.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely branding for us to start to believe that it kind of removes that conscious side. You know, it's like, oh, it's fine. They had a happy life. You know, they were walking free and they had their own little garden, and which is so far from the truth, isn't it? I mean, there's none of that in animal agriculture.
Yeah, they are only happy when they are free. They are only happy when they are not exploited.
Yeah.
I have only seen happy animals at a sanctuary. So, yeah.
Do you have sanctuaries here in Mexico?
Here in the Mexico City, no. But in Mexico, yeah, we have one really big at Cancun. It's called Tierra de Animales, Animal Land. It's really amazing. It's maybe my favorite place to go. they got like maybe 500 animals.
Whoa.
Yeah, like he have the owner told me like people see that he rescue animals, so they started throwing animals to his door. Like, I don't want this dog, so they throw it. Like, they leave it in his door. Yeah, he had like really, really so many animals.
How can we support them?
I'm gonna pass you the PayPal account.
I'll put the link here if anyone wants to donate towards it. And especially if anyone's thinking of going to Cancun on holiday, thinking of going for a bachelor party or going to get really drunk, consider spending a day at...
volunteering.
Yeah, you can volunteer as well.
Yes, like 4 hours a day, and then you can be with the animals, take pictures, feed them.
That is so good.
Yeah.
If I ever go to Cancun, that's the place I want to be, not parties, you know.
It's amazing. It's like really the most amazing thing in the world. Like, when I went, I asked the owner, like, what can I give you in this moment? Like, what do you need? He was like, maybe food, but fruit. Animals love fruit, so I do not give as much fruit as I can because I don't have that money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, okay. I went to the supermarket and I bought like sandia and watermelon and all the fruit I can. And the animals were really, really happy. They really enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially these sanctuaries. I mean, what they need is money. Let's be honest. I mean, it's a very costly operation to run, and
animals eats a lot.
Yeah. And they live off donations, don't they?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
I always I always post in my account, like the other one, the link for the donations too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think we do need to support sanctuaries, because if we are going to go towards a vegan world, there's going to be more sanctuaries, and these places do need supporting as well. And I think there's so much we can learn from animals.
So much. Like, when I started going to vigils, I do not know about pigs, anything. Like, I just went to see them, but I do not knew what to do.
Yeah.
So the organizers was like, it's like a dog. You can just give love to them. And yeah, like, you can talk to them, you can grab them. When I arrived my home, I was like, wow, that pig I saw on the vigil, it's like the dog that lives in my house.
Yeah.
They have like blue eyes. They love to be grabbed. And yeah, they love when you talk to them. They almost fall asleep when you call them. Yeah.
I mean, I always look at animals and like, why can't I just remember how animals live? You know, it's literally all you need is love and food and shelter, and that's it. Whereas we tend to get so carried away by so many other things in our society, you know, I don't know, clothes or money or fame or status or all these things. Whereas ultimately, animals are so much happier than we are.
Yes, I remember, well, one of my favorite movies is Marley and I. With Jennifer Aniston.
Is it a dog?
Yeah.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the message of the movie, it's like the dog do not care about money, do not care about your work, do not care if you're showered or not. Yeah. So I think all animals are like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we always talk about how we are superior and we are the top of the food chain and the most intelligent, but
we're not.
I honestly don't think that we are. We create so many problems for ourselves and for the world that we do live in as well.
Yes, if we were that smart, we wouldn't have all the disease we have. We wouldn't have the problems with the environment. Yes.
What's your favorite animal?
The wolf. Yes.
Interesting. Why?
I think they are really amazing. They are, I don't know, magical. I love them. Yeah, they are like powerful. Like the dog that it's in my house. It's a husky.
Yeah, like the wolf-looking dog.
Yes.
Oh, he's cute.
And he hates when you do things that he doesn't like. So I love that. I love the fact that he can say, I do not want you to kiss me right now. And he left, like, stop kissing me. So, yes.
I mean,
love
I'm
that.
actually allergic and terrified of most animals.
Yes.
Like, I've actually never had a dog. I've never even like walked a dog. Like, I really don't know that much about animals. All I know is that I don't want to kill them and exploit them and eat
Yes.
them. That's it for me. And you don't have to love animals and
No.
to be vegan.
Yes, I mean, you don't have to love all the people just to respect them. So,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true as well. Because people instantly think that you're some crazy animal lover just because you're vegan. I mean, obviously, I want
Yes.
animals to thrive. I want animals to be happy and in the wild, but
Yes.
I'm not good with animals.
And I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful with people, and I will not say I love people, so I will not kill them. So I think it's the same.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true. It's
you
just about
don't-
respect, isn't it?
Yes, you don't have to love animals to not abuse them.
Yeah, that is very well said. So Angie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And you
Oh.
made me hungry within the first 15 minutes of us talking about this. So I think it's time
Oui.
for us to get some lunch.
Yeah, some tacos.
Yes. And we've been taco bouting it for a very long time. I had to get one Mexican joke in about tacos. It wasn't very good, never mind. And so on a closing note, if you could say anything to anyone who's recently become vegan and they want to become active, to become an activist, what would you say to them?
Well, I think the most important thing is veganism. It's just the first step, not the end of it. When you become vegan, you're just stopping being part of that exploitation, but you need to get active because we want to stop animal exploitation, and we will just have that if we get active.
On those fine notes, Angie, thanks for joining me today. I'm sure I'll be back. Let's go get some
Please.
food.
Yes.
And guys, tune in next week for another episode. I have no idea where I'll be, no idea who I'll be with. I'm sure it'll be interesting of some sort. Have a great day.
That's the year that they're saying's our last. Unless we make a change now, when we gotta be fast. But first we gotta make a shift in what we put in our mouths. These silly billies thinking vegans eating grass on the ground. We talking fast food, yo, it's burgers and fries. And it used to hurt the earth and the birds in the sky. But now they making it with plants and it's so much better. Cause the animals are safe, no more changes in the weather. We better act fast cause the ice barely freezing. The world's changing quick, so welcome to Planet Vegan. Woo! Damn man, can you feel that? This place is getting hot. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick. Cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate. But we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates. All around the world, it's a brand new dance. What you're making out of bodies, yeah, we're making out of plants. We gotta save the pigs and the fishes in the sea. So hold on to your pants, Planet Vegan soon to be. There's a change up in the system, I can feel it in the air. But it benefits us all, there's no need to be scared. We're gonna change the world and we'll do it in a day. So don't fight the future, Planet Vegan's here to stay. If we wanna save the world, it'll take some work. If you wanna make it better, then take off your shirt, wave it round your head, and jump into the streets. The revolution starts now. Can you feel its heartbeat? If we wanna save the world, man, we better be quick. Cause we're killing all the piggies and the cows and the chicks. And I gotta be honest, I ain't a fan of our fate. But we can make a change now, and it starts on our plates.
Massive forest fires have once again decimated the Californian coastline.
Iceland just held a funeral for the first glacier ever lost in the country's history due to warming weather patterns.
Europe was just hit with the hottest temperatures in recorded history.
Thousands of people are already dying every year from climate change-related issues, and this number is expected to rise exponentially over the coming decades.
Okay, this apocalyptic nightmare's about to be real. Forest fires, oceans flooding, let it fill you with fear. A billion refugees running across the borders in pain, and they're drowning while you're saying you're refusing to change. Slaughterhouses filled with bodies and they're letting out screams, but you're saying it's a lie, that it's only a dream. Let me tell you something, man, the nightmare is real, and you're paying for it daily with your supersized meal.